Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Happy Wednesday. You've made it to the middle of the week. Hard to believe time flies by so quickly, but we have a little bit of fog. This is probably no surprise. We've been in this routine what seems like days on end, where some visibility has been reduced in some areas. I'm looking at Middlesboro, Bell County. Crater City, as it's known, Middlesboro, 1 mile visibility. And where you see some gray areas, you might be encountering some patches of fog this morning. Not everybody will experience that, but I do expect a good blend today of hazy sunny clouds. And there is a possibility, it's not likely, but a possibility that some of us get some drizzle today, and it should be centered around Chattanooga. So think of the Southern Valley as probably more susceptible, or even the plateau, for a drop of rain today. 51 is our current temperature in Knoxville. As of 6 o'clock this morning, it's 6:40. Love to know where you are. There's a huge temperature spread. I mean, look at Rockwood and Crossville in the low 60s, but you compare that to Middlesboro, they're at 46. So that's crazy. That is a big spread. 50 degrees currently in Newport, Del Rio, about 50 in Morristown and Alpha and Talbot, and about 50 degrees now in Jacksboro and La Follette. So just kind of curious to know where you are this morning. Have you been to work already? Have you experienced some fog? Would love to say good morning to you. Steve Stone is quick on the draw. He's on YouTube, says good morning. He's got his happy face and his sunshine. We'll get some of that today. Fred says good morning. Happy Maryville. He says, good morning, 51 degrees. Thank you so much, Fred. Love getting the updates. And Danny's watching live, too. Says, good morning, David. Hope you have a nice day. Enjoy this weather. Go Vols. I'm going to update that forecast for us. I think the sky condition for the game might be more partly to mostly cloudy now, as some clouds will be streaming in during the ball game, but it will stay dry. I don't expect that to change, but the sky might be a little cloudier than what was first anticipated for our Saturday evening game. By the way, if you look around the state, right, because we talked about the temperature difference, 46 to 61. We're looking at, what, 15 degrees between Rockwood and Middlesboro. When you look around the state, it's 66 in Memphis. There is a lot of warm air advection, a lot of warm air transporting into West Tennessee at this hour, and all you have to do is follow those red arrows. There's a reason why they're warmer, because the winds are driving up from the south for them, and it's keeping temperatures on the warmer side. But it's 45 in Johnson City, 51 I mentioned in Knoxville, and it's 60 currently in Chattanooga down in Hamilton County. You look at the big picture, the clouds, the radar, not a whole lot of clouds at this point other than the fog that might be encountering here. But again, I think a good blend of hazy sunny clouds will develop here on a Wednesday. And it should be pretty warm. 80 degrees is what I expect today. Now, I don't expect everybody to hit 80. Clearly, I think mid-70s would cover it if you're in Crossville, Fairfield, Glade, or say Lake Tansy. If you're in Jamestown or in Oneida, about 76. So you're a far cry from 80 in those locations, but you'll be close to it. I think in Oak Ridge, 78. I have us at 81 in Maryville and 79 in Tellico Plains and Athens. The record high, by the way, as I come back on camera, record high, I know you're interested, is 2016 and 1950. You're talking Obama era and Harry S. Truman, 1950. But we hit 83. 83. So we're 3 degrees just short, I think, of the record high. So you could say it's near record highs. I'd like to think that within 2 degrees, but with 3 degrees, it's not off the chart, but it is warm. And the record low goes back to William H. Taft era, 1910. We fell as low as 24 degrees. 24. We've had some cold mornings on the 30th of October, but not quite that cold this morning. Clearly, it is mild, all things considered. 78 for Kingston's high. If you're in Morristown, Hamlin County, I expect a high of 79 for you today. Look at these high. I mean, there's a lot of numbers here, but I like to call this my extended October almanac, right? We hit 75 yesterday, started the morning off at 49. Normal high this time of now is, normal high is 66 now. 66 and 43, the normal high and low this time in the calendar. And you can see we've had a lot of warm days in orange, but we've also had some chilly days. We had some frost going back into the middle of the month from the 14th right to the 18th, where things were on the chilly side of the ledger. Wind speed's not moving much. We've got a 5-mile-an-hour wind. There's some zeros, but the winds have picked up in the gusty area of the Smokies at this point, over 30 miles an hour in some parts of the tops of the mountains. Meanwhile, if you haven't checked out my winter weather outlook, I invite you to join us. I have a over 15-minute video that details and outlines what to expect this winter season. Will you and your family be ready, or could you be caught flat-footed like some were last January when we got last January 8.5 inches of snow. What's interesting is I told my premium members on the 29th of October of last year, I said I likely think we're going to get 8 to 12 inches of snow. Everybody thought that was hogwash. Nobody else is saying that. And guess what? We got 8.5, some got 10, some got 11, some got 12. That's just the way it goes. So if you'd like to know what I'm thinking, join me on Premium. I'd love to have you join us. You can sample us anytime. That video will be there. It's now online. Check us out. Just hit the subscribe button at the top of my Facebook page. You'll get all the details there. By the way, the free, he said free. We're back to free Captain Accurate Weather app now giving you an extended 10-day forecast. 10 days? I thought you were only accurate like beyond 3. Yeah, it tends to drop off. But if you like trends, you like patterns, or maybe consensus, 10 days is on the app now for virtually every city you can imagine. You also get 48 hours of data, hour by hour. Satellite mapping is improved. We've added power outages, the drought monitor, air quality alerts. What's the price of that? It's free. Isn't that cool? In the post-hurricane world of Helene, it's nice to know where the power outages are. You can choose by county, by state. You can pick out the county or state power outages. You can also check out the drought monitor as it comes out weekly. It's at your fingertips. All you have to do is go to the App Store, Google Play. By the way, Halloween has not changed in my view. We're going to look at the rain situation. It does and will not affect trick-or-treaters. That's why I've labeled it as dry and spooky as they come to your home asking for candy. I just know this, like a forecast. I suspect candy will be leaving your home if you are a homeowner and you got kids in the neighborhood. Happy Halloween. But by the time we get to midnight, showers, a few, will be developing from the northwest. Fentress County will be right on the edge of where that rain will be first developing. We'll keep an eye on that with the future rainfall. Meanwhile, I did mention Kentucky, Tennessee is this Saturday night. It's on the SEC network. Go Big Orange. They are 3-5, our northern neighbors, while we're 6-1. Still think we're in the 60s. I have us now at 67 for a kickoff, but I think it's partly to mostly cloudy, high above, but dry, as we'll finish the game in the fourth quarter about 62 degrees. And don't forget, after the ball game, we do fall back. 2 o'clock in the morning Sunday, suddenly, magically, becomes 1 a.m. And if you have a smartphone, it'll do all its work for you. But you might have one of those microwave ovens or conventional ovens that has to be done manually. We go from daylight time to standard time, and it's a good time to change the batteries in your smoke detectors and check out your carbon monoxide alarms. But it's the 49-hour weekend. Some people love that, but some aren't too thrilled because of what that could mean. As we look at the cloud situation here, what that could mean is that we're going to find a dramatic change in the sunset time. It's going to be like 5:43. It'll be shortly after 5:30 it gets dark, and people say, boo. Yeah, boo is right. Some are going to be too thrilled. They might love that extra hour of sleep, but they're going to feel like their biorhythms are off. Something's just not right. My routine is out of whack. But the sun does come up this morning at 7:56. It goes down today at 6:43. Just checking in the comments. I got a good morning from Mary Morgan. She says, good morning, David. Have a nice day. Ooh, I got a note from Wanda. She wants to know about the tropics. Yes, they're still active. Actively developing. We're going to watch that too. Kay Human is on here saying good morning. Love having her watching live. And we got one from Little Valley Acres Farm, a YouTube. Love it. Good morning to you, as I'm very happy that all of you are watching at this point. And then I've got Alice says good morning. Have a great day. It's 62 this morning. Loving this weather. And I believe she's in Glen Mary, so thank you for that. And, oh, I hate, Marilyn says I hate falling back. She's not a fan of the 5:43 sunset time, which will be really the time that you really experience that is Sunday evening, right? When you start to hear the 60 minutes tick, 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 tick on the TV, like if you're watching TV and you're like, it's Sunday, and it's getting darker sooner. And I can't take the dog out because it's dark, and for a long walk anyway, you can still take him out. But, hey, it's all what it is, 5:43 or at least after 5:30. When the sun will be down this weekend. By the way, bus stop forecast. I get ahead of myself. 6:49 right now is the current time. If we're in the low 50s now, we should be easily in the upper 50s by 10. And with hazy sun and clouds, 77 by 2. Again, pickup time is probably that 2 to 3:30 time frame. I suspect we're going to finish around 80 for the finishing point. By the way, if you're checking out the corn mazes, you know this is the time of year. Maybe you're a big fan of the apple cider. I'm a fan of apple. I love apple cider. And I love apple butter and all the rest. And maybe you're on the family farm. checking out the pumpkins. It's all good this time of year. And maybe you're considering a hayride. You know, it is that time, right? Get on the tractor pull here. Get on the hayride, because get on the bandwagon. It's fun. It's fall. That's what you kind of do. And tomorrow, I'm going to have an update on fall colors. So I'm going to invite you to check us back on our Thursday morning, Halloween morning. Not spooky with the fall color, but we'll look at that tomorrow. The Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by your local Marco's Pizza, not showing any rain at this point. Nothing to see here other than ground clutter over the last 8 hours. But I do encourage you to check out marcos.com if you're looking for some great lunch ideas. They have, besides pizza, they got subs, they got salads, they got pozzolis. Marcos.com, they give back to No Kid Hungry. They're also, they give back to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. They're very community-oriented, which is why I love Marcos. One of the many reasons. Hardin Valley and Farragut. They're in Maryville, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. They have a magnificent pizza, if you haven't tried it, called the Magnifico. Of course, you can get a deluxe. You can add mushrooms and green peppers and all the rest. That's also available on their menu. But the new Pozzoli, for less than $6. Really nice for lunch. Check them out. The pepperoni and sausage pictured at the top is my absolute favorite. So check it out, Pozzoli at marcos.com. Nothing to see here. I did mention during last night's video that it was snowing hard in Wyoming. So much so that Wyoming, on the far left of your screen, has turned pink. That's because they're under winter storm warnings. That's a lot of snow. But when you start measuring 3 to 6 or even more inches of snow in October, that should catch your attention, as I imagine it would for people that live in Wyoming. Meanwhile, the tropics, we've got to keep an eye on that because there's going to be some new development, as I suspected, between now and the 15th of November. So far, we've had a very dry October, 0.08. It's one for the books, y'all. 2.81 is the average. I circled that in green. That's the typical average between 1991 and 2020. So you might be, well, how do you pull that number out? It's just an average for those 30 years, given that sample. But given the fact that we've had only 0.08, that puts us squarely in the third spot, meaning between 1904 and 2016, it hasn't been any drier. I mean, the first place goes to 1963 and 2000 when we had just some drizzle. Nothing measurable. We had it as a trace, but we're in the number 3 spot. I think that's how we're going to finish. I don't think the rain that comes in very late on Halloween night is going to affect us. It's not going to change the official rain total. So I think we're going to finish third driest October on record. And that's coming on the heels of the 14th wettest in September. 14th wettest, third driest. Oh, that's how Mother Nature works, right? You go outside, it's a full moon, and then you come back 28 days later, it's a full moon. How did I know that? If I go to the beach and it's low tide in the morning, I come back in the afternoon after lunch. It's high tide. I can forecast that. So can you. So if you can imagine, if we go to the 14th wettest September with Helene, and then it's the third driest in October, that's how Mother Nature is trying to find an equilibrium, never finds it. But for some reason, people just get so alarmed. That's just, hold on, that's just how Mother Nature rolls. And that's how we're seeing it play out, at least in East Tennessee. I did outline how I think that could relate to this upcoming winter in my winter weather outlook, which I, again, encourage you to check out if you're not a premium member. This takes us to 5 o'clock on Halloween night. You'll notice that the models want to put some 0.01 inches of rain in Jamestown, right? It wants to bring in some specks of rain right through about 11 o'clock at night. There's 0.02. It's on the doorstep of maybe Wayne County, Kentucky, and Fentress County, Tennessee. But by 7 o'clock in the morning, it's already moved into areas west of I-75, and then it stops, curiously. I think there's something wrong with this solution. Even though it shows over a ½ inch of rain in Crossville, it doesn't show anything for Morristown, meaning it dries up. And there are indications it's going to weaken. That's why I have spoken, basically articulated or voiced, that we'll have a 60% chance of rain if you're west of I-75, and a 40% chance if you're east of I-75. And this model really puts a really dry scenario for Newport, Greenville, and Morristown. It shows no rain, right? I could move the clock, and it doesn't even populate. But fear not, there are other solutions. I like to show you 2 solutions. It's not the only model in the world, but this would suggest it does make it to Morristown. This would suggest it does make it to Newport and Greenville. Let's take you through November 1st, which is Friday. This brings in about 11/10. It is less rain in Morristown than Crossville, but it's some rain. And like I said, it's going to dry up as it comes into the valley and most of us will have very little rain if you're east of I-75. So again, 60% chance of rain if you're over here, 40% chance if you're over there. Kind of moved my map there, but that gives you a sense of where we're going to be by the time we hit the end of November 1st. Smoke might be in the air too. That's another wildfire thing that we watch from sources that are either near or far away. Again, this is vertically integrated. This takes us through about Thursday morning. There may be a hint of smoke in the atmosphere, as again, wildfires that might be developing, some are moving up toward Oklahoma, but some of that does get captured by the jet stream. Wanda Poe wanted to know about the tropics. Oh, yes. I'm not putting my guard down. I'm not saying we're going to get another Helene or Milton, but Cuba and the islands in the Caribbean, Bahamas, and even Florida need to keep an eye on this. I wouldn't even let my guard down if I'm in Houston because, again, we've got a 40% chance that something forms, and if this gets a name, it's not going to be Patty Cake. It's going to be Patty, right? Some people, like, they hear the name, I'll board up for Gustav or Hugo, but if it's Patty or Faye or Helene, that seems like a sweet old lady. That's fine. That's fine. It's whatever they want to name it. But you got to take every tropical storm seriously, or hurricane, and you have to definitely take heed, as we've learned from Milton, to evacuate when and if that call comes for your Florida neighbors. That's what's happened. We've had some very devastating hurricanes this year. Headlines: drizzle possible today, 6:56. My goal is to be done in 4 minutes or less. Few showers after. I think we've established that. It'll be after the trick-or-treaters come to the door. And by the time we get to midnight, some showers should start to develop from the north and west. And I have a 60% chance of showers, rumbles of thunder on Friday. That will be especially true west of I-75. Today's record high is 83. I expect, as we look at the Valley Planner, we'll hit 80. Hazy sun, it's warm, some drizzle possible, but not likely. And the average high is 66 this time of year. I think we'll be about 69 by lunchtime. So if you're making lunch plans, that's where I expect to be this afternoon. I got a 60% chance on Friday. That should be 30% for Thursday night. Did not update that as much as I had hurriedly put that traffic together this morning. Storm Prediction Center highlighting some real hot spots, numerous. Not something you see every day, but with the second season of tornado season, just talking about hurricanes. But the second season with tornadoes will be possible today in places like Kansas City and Topeka. The orange area will be indicative of where numerous severe storms are likely to break out, and that could include tornadoes, about a 10% chance in orange. Where you see some yellow, Oklahoma City, there's about a 5% chance they get some tornadoes there today. And in the green areas, 2% for St. Louis. That's where all the active weather is going to be. It's going to be far from here, but it's certainly affecting or will affect some friends or family you have there in that part of the country. Halloween Day itself, there's still some isolated severe storms in places like Shreveport and Memphis. You head further north toward Indianapolis. There's the possibility of some spooky weather with severe storms, but you'll notice that they put the doorstep of this coming in places like Cookeville and Jamestown and Crossville very late Halloween night as it tries to work its way in our direction. Come Friday, there's some severe weather back to the west of Texas, but there's not much going on elsewhere. By the way, Futurecast, so check your comments. Not a whole lot to see this afternoon. I think there's maybe some drizzle. Yeah. See, this is where the drizzle comes in. Some of this will actually develop or converge on the Smokies with this high to the eastern part of North Carolina that we could see maybe some extra clouds out of this and in some cases a spot of rain. Not a big deal. It basically dries up. We see tonight partly to mostly cloudy skies, and then we set the stage for Thursday night. That's Halloween night for some rain coming into Nashville. It moves into Bowling Green, and that's 11:45. So that's very late at night in areas around Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Eventually it comes in for your morning commute. So Friday morning looks a little soggy, and where you see some yellow might be indicative of some rumbles of thunder. So you got the opportunity for some thunder, a couple of showers, rolls across the area, and then it's gone. So by Saturday, we start to dry things out. That's the way things are shaping up. Let me check in with your comments as I kind of went through this pretty quickly. Dawn says, good morning. Hope everyone has a fantastic day today. Happy to see Dawn Rumsey here. And our friend Darcy Soar, one of my premium members, also, I guess is Dawn. Good morning, chilly morning. She says, I absolutely love the winter outlook. Well worth the cost of the premium subscription. You're the best. Thank you, Darcy. Appreciate you very much. As you know, I put a lot of thought and production quality into the presentation, and hopefully it makes sense as we head down the winter months of December. Meteorological winter starts December 1st and runs through the end of February. So that's the futurecast. We're looking at Saturday now. It shows a few extra clouds. I don't think rain's going to be an issue at all, but it will be gradually warmer. By Saturday, Sunday should be in the upper 70s. So for today, high of 80. I did indicate at 7 o'clock that we would have close to, but not near record. Record high is 83 from 2 years, 2016, back when Barack Obama was president, and 1950. That's been when Harry S. Truman was in the White House. Hazy, sun and clouds, drizzle possible. Winds will pick up this afternoon 5 to 10. Today's high in Wartburg and La Follette, 77 for Campbell County and Morgan County, respectively. 81 in Maryville and Townsend, as well as Alcoa. Look for a high of 78 in Sevierville and Pigeon Forge. 76 for Chattanooga if you're on the road. They'll be in the low 80s in Nashville. Nashville hit 80 yesterday. They should be about 2 degrees warmer this afternoon in Music City. 58, your low temperature tonight. I did add that partly to mostly cloudy sky, but very mild. Normal low this time of year is 43. So you're looking at 15 degrees above normal. 15 degrees above normal for the low temperature. That means if something's happening, a front is approaching. 60 for a low in Wartburg. Look for a low in Morristown at 55. And La Follette, 59 degrees, Oneida, about 60. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 80 again on Thursday for Halloween. Yeah, that's not so spooky. But 70, 10 degrees cooler. On Friday, some of us will struggle to get to 70. We'll spend most of the day in the 60s. Oh, yes, but it warms back up. It does by the time we get into the time of the afternoon for Saturday for tailgaters. The game, of course, 7:45 at night. We fall back after the game and should be in the upper 70s on Monday and Tuesday. So that's the way I see things shaping up. But don't assume this is permanent. If you have the Captain Accurate Weather app, you can go out 3 extra days, take a look at the 10-day extended forecast, and see if it's going to get colder anytime soon. Of course, if you're a premium member, you get more of that each and every day. So you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. We had a couple of comments today from YouTube, including Steve Stone. All you have to do is go to youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. Subscribing to my YouTube channel is absolutely free, as is the weather app. The Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic. That's the beauty of it, right? You get weather, you get traffic, all on one stop. All of the National Weather Service alerts are there. We've added the air quality alerts, so they would come to your phone if applicable. And you get 3 extras from Barron. It's free. It's lightning alerts. There's so many good things about this app. I hope that you're using it and have it readily on your phone. Meanwhile, if you're on premium, as I mentioned, the Winter Weather Outlook is now online. You don't have to wait for it. You can watch it at your convenience, and it's a video that lasts over 15 minutes. So check it out. I put a lot of thought and care into this Winter Weather Outlook. I think you'll be impressed. First to see my snow forecast if you're a premium member. You are the first to see every forecast as a premium member. And as I've mentioned, our focus is to go beyond the next 7 days. We're looking at 2 weeks, 30 days in advance. These are things that I think have value, especially if you're a planner. You're not somebody that's spontaneous. You like to know kind of where things are going. More Facebook Lives if you're a premium member and you get fewer ads. Just check us out. Would love to have you. It's only $4.99 a month. That's for like a price of a cup of coffee or less in many locations this day and age. That's for not a week. That's a whole month. So check us out. That averages out to, 16 cents a day. Very, very affordable. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.